septum piercing and big glasses, then white men are probably for you. And I'm like, wait a minute. I have two of those qualities and all I date is nignog. So I'm like, maybe. So now I'm thinking, is the universe sending me a sign?
Because a man can be attracted to you and want to sleep with you, and that still doesn't mean that he values black people and you are a black person.
But when it's a white girl and a black guy, that black dude be dusty as hell.
Men will actually date you, like take you out on dates, like fancy dinners and stuff. I've noticed that with some black men, they tend to put a little bit less effort into dates.
I don't want to date a white man, no. I want somebody I can say the N-word with. Ugh. Okay, real quick, y'all. Is the universe saying that I should be dating a white man? So peep this. I just saw a TikTok from Amra White. Now, side note, if you're black and single, you need to be following Amra White because he has all the tips and tricks for dating as a black woman. Anyway, he said on the TikTok that black love is a scam because black women outnumber black men and that they date a lot outside of their race. And so if you have a certain specific set of qualities, you probably should be dating a white man. He said that if you have a septum piercing and big glasses, then white men are probably for you. And I'm like, wait a minute. I have two of those qualities and all I date is nignog. So
the delusion.
I'm like, maybe he's onto something, but I love black men, so I just keep it in the back of my mind. Now, I was just in Costco and I saw two interracial couples with black women and white men. I'm like, okay, period, shouts out to y'all. Then I look on my phone and it says 555 on the dot. Now, y'all know me. I'm an astrology girly. I'm a numerology girly. If the universe is going to speak, it's going to be through numbers. So I'm like 555 on my phone and two interracial couples. Like, what does this mean? So now I'm thinking, is the universe sending me a sign? I don't want to date a white man, no. I want somebody I can say the N-word with. Ugh.
Somebody I can say the N-word with. You know, I don't think black men would miss you if you went over to the other side. I mean, I'm just saying. But most black men, whether you want a white man, Indian man, whatever, we don't care. We don't care as much as you ladies care. Make it a big scene. Men don't care at the end of the day. Some do, but a lot don't.
Date white men and they're telling you how you're supposed to. So many dating coaches are telling black women to date white men and they're telling you how you're supposed to dress, how to tell if they're attracted to you, all these things. But let me tell you what they're not telling you. They're not telling you that you need to talk about race very early on into that dynamic, because a man can be attracted to you and want to sleep with you, and that still doesn't mean that he values black people and you are a black person. I've been seeing too many videos over the past few months of women getting divorced after marrying a white man. Quick marriage, he seemed nice, they did all the things that the dating coaches are telling them to do, right? And then that man is calling them the N-word, and he's being so derogatory and racist. But when asked, did you talk about race? No, I didn't think it mattered. Of course it.
So, what is she saying? Amra White, actually, he helped a black woman get married, probably the white guy, right? He's saying they're wrong. She's saying they're wrong. They're wrong because they're not giving all of the advice necessary. And a lot of times, you bump into the same issues. A man is a man at the end of the day. But let me let her finish.
It matters. You need to know what he's comfortable with. You need to know his biases. You need to know who's around him. Is his family racist? Are his friends racist? Are there certain jokes that he thinks he can make? Does he say the N-word? Does he get drunk and say slurs to any group? How does he feel about black men? And this one is really important because a lot of time men are in competition with each other. It has nothing to do with the women. We are just the pawns in that game. There's a huge difference between a black woman feeling disappointed and let down by black men because you have dated many black men and you've constantly had a disappointing experience, and a white man who hates black men in this world when the power and privilege is afforded to the white men over the black men. So if you're upset with black men in this moment in time, if you're disappointed, if you've been abused by them, and you take that energy over to a white man and he also says that he doesn't like black men too, there's a red flag right there, because in society they don't have power over him the same way that you do, which means that his feelings towards them are usually rooted in racism. Also, if he's dated black women in the past, it doesn't necessarily mean he actually values and cares about black people or black women. I've spoken to white men who have dated black women, and there are the ones who will protect their black woman in front of any and everybody and make sure that she is safe and will not even have her in any environment where she'll be treated as other or less than. But I've also spoken to white men who have dated black women men who don't even recognize their point of privilege and instead think that that black woman should just be grateful that he chose her. And these are the men that think that they're doing so much by just existing and choosing to be with that woman that they don't have to defend her, that they don't have to protect her, that they don't have to care about things to do with race. They're also the ones who say that race doesn't matter, but it really does. I have also dated interracially, so I can speak from experience. There is a huge difference between dating as an adult and dating as a young person. Like when I was a teenager, when I was coming up to my early adulthood, the types of people that you meet or where you meet them is so different. You're meeting these people in social circles, you know, a friend of a friend from school, from college. This way you get to see them in their natural environment, you get to see them in a party, you get to be around them on a chill day and who they choose to surround themselves with. It's so much easier to be able to tell who is looking at you as a fetish as a young person in comparison to someone who really is embracing of you and all that you come with. As an adult, it is so different, especially when you're using things like dating apps, because these are total strangers. You can't really feel out the environment and see who they're around. It's so easy for people to create this idea of themselves that isn't really real. And then if you're coming from a space where you've only dated black men and you've never dated white men before, you want to make sure you give yourself time to kind of boost yourself up and your self-esteem before you start dating different types of men, because they are still men. So yes, you may have a completely different dating experience because it's a man from a different background, but he's still a man. So you still want to go in there with some discernment, and you also want to go in there with your autonomy intact, because if you're going into that situation thinking, oh my god, he looked at me, I've never known that white men are attracted to me, and you go there kind of like just accepting any crumbs, a man will dog walk you and you won't even realize that it's happening just because you don't recognize it because it comes in white and not in black.
And that's what's happening to a lot of the ladies. They're running into situations and they're feeling like, wow, this white man actually likes me, and being dog walked. That's what's happening. The man has some kind of issues. The man has serious issues that you can't ignore. Like, you know, a black man probably, you know, they've got with Pookie's. He's ran up the credit, chose the wrong black man, blame all black men. But it's still a lot different. Let me get into the next lady, because she's going to bring up some issues that from white guys that she went through that she couldn't ignore, and decided that she's never going to date a white man again.
At this point, I just believe God does not want me to date and marry a white man, because every time I've dated a white man, some crazy catastrophic from the universe has occurred. The first time was in FSU. I dated this white man. He was artsy. I met his mother. He said he cared about me. He ghosted me. And then I found out he was arrested because he was dating a child. Like, the man is like a registered pedophile now. The second time I dated a white man, okay, he claimed to be a great guy. He was a ginger. He was fine. He had body. He was sweet. He was kind. He hung out with me on his birthday. He was a single father. He seemed amazing. Only to find out this man had a girlfriend of 9 years that he lives with. Okay. And in the very first conversation we had, I asked this man, are you seeing anyone? Are you dating anyone? La, 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 la. No. He even went as far as to say, oh, I understand what you have to ask because there's crazy people out here. I don't know. This stuff is just, it's too absurd. I don't believe in coincidence. And perhaps my lineage needs to have a lot of melanin. Maybe I just feel like, you know, this is some stuff straight out of a TV show. Me need to leave the white man alone. Man don't understand what go on with them.
What did she realize? All men are the same, except for the man came with some extra issues. The first guy was a pedophile. You don't find, there's pedophiles in the black community too, but you don't find as much in the black community. She realized. Let me take a look at what some of the comments said. This one guy here, guys are not playing. He said, just keep trying. Don't come back. Look what the next one says. I want to get down to here, to this guy Vanderbeest. I can never be with a sister who dates white men. That's a huge red flag. Let me get into the next one so I can see it better. He said, I can never date or be with a sister who's been with white men. That's a huge red flag. Why do sisters keep going back? The same guy, this guy said it, Zolife. You already know what Zolife is from Florida, right? He said, same. No failed spoilers. The man pretty much said, no failed spoilers allowed. I'm going to put that in the thumbnail. No failed spoilers allowed. And this one too. Exactly. Now they want to crawl back. Nah, stay over there. They've been disowned. And he said this in the comment, and guys, this is just in May. Stay over there. We don't want you. It was back in college. She was an experiment. I'll give her a tiny bit of a pass. She was an experiment. But yeah, men are saying it. Stay over there. Same. How would you know? I'll straight up ask them. Most of them will be honest, especially if you say you won't judge them for it. This next guy says, it's despicable. Men are not hearing it. Why are you coming back? Stay over there. Because you'll say that. What do they say to black men? Oh, you date Becky? Stay over there, and black men will happily oblige. Because that's what we're looking to do anyway. We're looking to stay because of the nightmares we're getting. So men are saying the same thing. Stay. You left? Stay. Do what you're doing. Don't come back here. I'm not wrong. Men have finally had enough. Because it's true. It's like women, especially with feminism, it's kind of taking a man's role. Right? But not even a man's role. It's like, don't do what I do. Do what I say. That's what's being done. And men are not hearing it.
Racial couples that when I see a black woman with a white man, it's a bad bitch. Like, this girl is bad. There's not a black man that would pass on her. But when it's a white girl and a black guy, 80% of the time, that black dude be dusty as hell.
Talk about a double standard.
She's talking about pookies. They're getting with pookies. That's not a lot of black men's experience. They're not just getting with the white women that are desperate for black men and that want pookies. You have no idea what kind of white woman men are getting, because a lot of times it's out of the country and they get the baddest ones. They're going to Germany, or they're going to even places like Russia, places where women say, you won't go there, you go to third world countries. No, they're getting baddies from first world countries, might I say. But let me let her finish.
Any black woman would pass on him, for real. It's like, you safe, sister. We wasn't looking for him anyway. I feel like white men genuinely, when they like black women, they genuinely like black women. They don't care how dark you are. They don't care about your afro, how curly your hair is. They don't care. But when it comes to the white girls, I don't know. I feel like not all of them. It's not all of them. But a lot of them relationships, they be together because they want mixed kids, or the black man is with that girl for convenience and because he knows he can get away with a lot more 90% of the time. The white girls that are seasoned, y'all not in this conversation, but y'all know who I'm talking about.
I guess white guys have always just liked me. Can you vouch for that?
You just attract white guys. White guys do love you though. Like,
no, they actually,
in the streets,
like, no joke, white guys love me.
White guys just be coming up to you, starting conversations.
I don't know what it is. I literally don't know what it is. But whenever we're out,
the whiteys love you.
The whiteys love me. I think it's because I have like the quintessential like look. I have the braids and I have the nails and I got the lashes.
You have all that, but then you have a very like inviting like tone to your voice, I guess is what you could call it. Because we'll start a conversation and like you'll be like what do you think about it? You know what I mean?
I do
like,
not do that. People jump in.
They
People
jump in because you're talking about it and you're talking about what we're talking about and you're like looking over like,
that's not true. I don't do that.
You want to join? You want in on this?
So I think that like white guys, what I noticed, even online, white men don't know how to talk to black women. And we'll get DMs sometimes where white men will DM us on our podcast platform and they'll be like, I really like black women, but I don't know how to talk to them. I'm like, just talk to them. They're women. What are we talking about?
Like, they get in their heads like you
Yeah.
have to like speak differently, or you have
Yeah.
to like have different topics or something. It's like, no, dude, just be yourself.
I think my man likes her. They need to try to work something out. I know they run a podcast together, but that's a love connection. And let me tell you, we don't care.
We don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
Simply, we don't care.
And in my second year of university, I went to a house party. I went to this house party with a really good friend of mine who also happened to be a Zambian brought up in England. She was lighter skinned than I am. That's important for this story. We walked to this house party, and when we got to the street, we realised that we didn't actually know which house number the party was taking place in. When we got to the street, there were about 3 houses having house parties. So I actually stood in the middle of the street. My friend is texting the person who'd invited us to the house party to try and work out which door we're supposed to go into. We happened to be stood right opposite a house where one of the house parties was taking place. The door was open, and there were 2 dark-skinned black men stood in the doorway. I think they thought that the sound of the party and the music would drown out what they were saying, so we wouldn't be able to hear what they were saying. But because they were drunk and speaking really loud, I could hear what they were saying loud and clear. They were talking about trying to hook up with girls at this party and who they'd be interested in. And one of the guys turns to his mate and says, "How about those 2?" pointing to me and my friend. And his friend thinks about it for a second and says, maybe the one on the left, i.e. my friend, but definitely not the one on the right. She's too dark. My friend was too busy texting, so she didn't actually hear them, but I did, and this is a memory that has been cemented in my brain. The annoying thing is that actually happened to be the party that we were supposed to be going into, so I spent the rest of that evening feeling absolutely disgusting and feeling so ugly because of the amount of melanin in my skin. This is just one story time of my experience with colorism within the black community growing up. I went to an all-girl high school where there were 5 black girls in the whole school, so I was very aware of the fact that I was not the beauty standard and no guys were checking for me, which was fine because I just focused on studying, getting good grades, and I thought once I left the school, was in a more diverse crowd, that I would find my people and I would find guys that were attracted to me. So boy was I in for a shock when I started dating in my later teens, early 20s, and I realised that a lot of the black men that I was attracted to had a preference for lighter skinned girls than I. My dating history is very varied. I've dated a lot. I've dated white guys, black guys, other ethnicities, but ultimately I just decided to go where I was loved and appreciated. It took me till around the age of 24, 25 to truly start to believe that I am beautiful. And I realised to hold this view of myself, I had to separate that from whatever anyone else might think of me. Like, I know objectively there are far more beautiful women in the world. If I wanted to end up with someone who thought of me as being the most incredible, beautiful woman in the world, then I first had to have that view. Because otherwise I was always going to think it's acceptable to have people in my life who thought of me as less beautiful, less deserving, and less worthy. Which leads me to this comment, which made me laugh because I don't like white men. I like being liked. Ironically, as I've gotten older and now I'm in my later 20s, I get far more attention from black men than I ever have in my life. And I don't know if that's just me getting a bit older, growing into my features, learning how to do my makeup, all of that, or whether it's the fact that I'm at the age where black men now care less about how other people view the women they're dating and go after the women they actually like, or if there's just more representation online and in the media of black women being loved and black men realizing that they can also have that if they want. Maybe it's a combination of all of that. I love black love. But for me, being in a relationship with someone who is committed and loves me and is unashamed of that takes precedent. And right now, that happens to be with a white guy. And I don't know if this person left this comment in a haha, let's laugh together, hard wig, soft life kind of jokey way, or they were just simply making fun of the way my hair looks. But I truly hope that every girl out there ends up in a relationship that is fulfilling, where she feels beautiful, where she feels loved, no matter the race. And to all the girlies who told me that I look better with a middle parting and to keep that styling, I owe you my life.
Her situation, a lot different, right? But she comes across like she has a white mother, a black mother, white father, but probably not the case. She could have just grew up in the suburbs. I know because I was there. And, you know, black guys will definitely like you. I mean, black guys, especially from the hood, and not just Pookies, they're looking for something different, all right? They're trying to get away from the Shaniquas and get together. You look like a Brittany. Your name is probably Brittany. A guy's looking to be with a black guy doesn't mind. When guys get older, we want the best outcome, right? Because we want the best woman to grow old with. And if anybody turns you down, I mean, kind of crazy. Like you come across like a lady, very soft, genuine, honest. I like the way you presented yourself. That's what men look. They'll look at you and think that, oh wow, she's not like the rest. As long as you're not like the rest, and you look beautiful enough, a guy's going. Whether he's black, white, whatever, you got nothing to worry about. As long as you um, present yourself right, what you're doing, you have no issues.
People think that I like white men is because of my hair and because I had it in braids. But now I took my hair out. Guys, am I still giving? Let me give you the whole fit so you guys can see. Am I still giving like I look like I only date white guys? Cause now I feel like I'm giving like, like, I don't even know. What even am I giving? I don't know, guys. You tell me. But yeah, this is still I don't know.
Yeah, you give that suburb like the last girl. You give that suburb look like you have a white father. I don't know. You just give it. I don't know what it is, but all a man really cares about is if you like penis. They're definitely willing to dish it.
Chatter right now in the social media space, and this goes outside of my normally talking about narcissistic moms, but I have a life more than that and perspectives more than my mom. There's a lot of chatter on social media right now about getting or dating white men to produce you having a soft life or gentle life. And I don't completely agree with that or even respect a lot of that chatter. And I am someone that has and continues to date white men, not exclusively. And what I want to say is that I'm just trying to say this the best that I could. When it comes to white men that do date black women, especially ones that probably could give you a life of more financial stability or economic stability than you have right now, you have to consider, I'm not going to generalize all of them, but some white men, wealthy ones, look to black women as the TJ Maxx, Ross, or Marshalls of dating. And I say that because I don't care what kind of black woman you are or you think you are not going to have the same economic and financial demands of any white woman. You do not come from that cloth. And I'm saying that to say there are a lot of black women out here, they have that soft, gentle life based off Chanel bags, and the man takes them on trips and they fly first class or business class. White women, on the other hand, they're asking for inheritance and family heirlooms and stocks and bonds. I don't care what you say, we agree to disagree. There is no black woman out here that is going to have the same financial demands or be fully knowledgeable of the generational financial wealth and attainment that has been taught to a white woman. So a lot of times white men, because we're black, we're beautiful, we're great, and yeah, sometimes we are more fun than white women. It's also because we are not, do not, will not, and genetically cannot have the same heavy ass financial demands of white women who will fight men who want us pieces of estates and stocks and bonds and generational family wealth. So I'm just saying black women that ain't gonna come for white men the same way that white women would financially, and they recognize that, and sometimes they do seek after us for that reason.
Wow. She said this is like a whole nother video because she's pretty much saying that black women need to up their game actually. And I saw this before. I saw a lady talk about that, and she was saying that because the black man said it. You guys remember it. He said white women won't ask for much, but they actually ask for more. And she said it: stocks and bonds, heirlooms, estates. This is the thing though. See, a white woman will take the time to get to know a man. See, this is what happens. And a lot of times you black women may not realize because you won't pay attention to that small black man. Let me cook real quick. You won't pay attention to that man making 50,000, not realizing he has more than the man making 100,000. How? He's fully invested into the stock market. Let me give you an example. When I started working online, before I started working online, I was doing sales, right? And I was doing sales in New York, In New York, I make commission, so they take 40% of your commission. The way to go around that, and this is legal, you can actually take most of your commission and put that into your 401k. So your commission doesn't go to the state of New York, it goes to yourself from when you retire. So that's what I would do. I would take my commissions, and I did that for about a year and a half. I would take my commissions and then dump it all, most of my commissions, into my 401k. So then when I went to leave, I had a fat I had a fat 401k. So I left Cablevision and I left out there with like a 20, 30,000 401k, and I was good for a couple of years. Of course that needs to be paid back, but I was fine. I had something to sit on for quite a while. It lasted for a couple of years. I was good. And then from there, right after that, disappeared. I had other income, so I was great. But that's what they look at. They look at the men who are smart, who are fully invested into different things, and they take advantage. That's what white women are doing. They're a lot smarter. You just gotta wisen up, but no, that's not good for you. Let me not say that. That's not good for you, black man.
I have seen more white. Basically, in that video, he talks about how he's seen more white guys with black women today he's ever seen before. I want to give a little bit of insight. The way that you get treated by a white man is completely different from how you get treated by a black man. White men will actually date you, like take you out on dates, like fancy dinners and stuff. I've noticed that with some black men, they tend to put a little bit less effort into dates. Are we blind? Yo, like come kick back at the crib. Let's ball up in the basement. White men will also take you a lot seriously, a lot quicker. Hey, they'll want to tie the knot as opposed to black men. They tend to take their time, and sometimes you could be with a guy for 10 plus years and he won't even propose then. And will also take the load off of you being a partner in the relationship. That's where they'll treat you like a lady and have a little bit less expectations when it comes to financial and just in every which way. Black men, I realize it's really 50-50. Now, I understand that relationships aren't always 50-50, but I will say that I just noticed with white men, they just put a lot more effort. I have the ability to sit more into my feminine energy. This doesn't go for everybody. Every race is going to have some good and some bad. Ladies, if you have never tried it, consider going for it. Love my black brothers, but at the end of the day, homegirl's trying to walk down the aisle one day. Statistically speaking, physically, this is not me. Black men are the least most likely to propose. Again, this is not for everybody because damn, are they sexy. It's all about what you want in your life.
Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you this, men are not stressing it. I say it like this: be with whoever you want. That's how I feel. Because a man is going to be whoever he wants. And I say this to men out there: definitely choose the one who treats you right. If it's a black woman, it's a black woman. Not all black women are bad. I know what I say here on my channel, but I tell the truth. And you do got some out there, woo, that are nightmares. But yeah, guys, other than that, I just want to thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Also, if you want to make money online, I've been working online since 2013. I've been working online long term with my long term gig I've had since 2014. I can show you how to do the same thing and how to flourish online. Like right now, jobs are bad in America, not happening online. You know what I call my program? What have I been saying for the whole time of my channel? This is the way. Because it is. And I show where the jobs have gone and who's taking the jobs. So if you want to find out more about that and also find out how you can do many different careers without even doing work, contact me. Right now is under $125. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching. Peace out. See you next video.